How are my YouTube friends doing today? We are live, and man, do I have a treat for you guys. And let me get the chat board up here so I can see what you guys are up to. And you can notice I am not sitting in my regular chair. I am sitting on a little stool right now. I'm just gonna make sure you guys can see me okay. And if you're just logging in, do me a favor, smash that like button. And man, do I have a treat for you guys. I just got in the PSA 18-inch 5.56 heavy barrel with the FN barrel, coal hammer forge, and that is the next firearm review series with a reloading adventure treat for you guys. So if you guys are just getting into reloading for 5.56, that should be right up your alley, because we just got done pretty much with the PSA 6.5 Grendel, and man, did we get some spectacular results out of that firearm. And doing load development, we got some amazing groups right around a half minute of angle. Cam413 is just jumping into the chat board here. Looks like my camera froze here. Let me make sure you guys are still live. Adam's rolling in the house. He's saying hello. We got 9 people watching so far. So if you guys are out there watching, jump in the chat board and make yourself known. Man, this is going to be a really cool video or live stream here for you guys. And I'm announcing that PSA 18-inch 5.56 FM barrel, the Cold Hammer Forge heavy barrel series today. And then I'm going to be starting here very, very soon. And not only that, not only going to go over that upper, but we're also going to do a reloading live event for that also. Something very similar to this PSA 6.5 Grendel that we just got done doing. And Marine Corps Fire Dog just rolled in this house. He's saying hi. And if you're not familiar with this PSA 6.5 Grendel series that we're just wrapping up, part 1 we did the general overview. Part 2 and 3 we did the reloading for that. In part 2 and 3. In part 4 we shot those reloads, and part 5 we continued that load development. And as that barrel broke in and we did more load development, those groups really started to shine. I'm really impressed with that firearm so far. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer before we get going here, but I got my BORESCOPE up here, and I can't show you what is exactly over here, but I think you got a good idea what is to the left of me. And I can definitely show you a picture of what might happen to be over here. And this is a picture I'm not showing you, so it's legit, and that meets the rules. And the top one up here, this upper here, is the 6.5 Grendel, the PSA upper, and that has a A2 style barrel, I believe, and a stainless steel. And the one I just received, literally just took it out of the box. I mean, here's the box. Just literally received it about an hour ago, and I haven't touched it other than taking it out of the box and putting it on the chair here. And I took the A2 birdcage brake off, and you can see the muzzle right there after I took the birdcage brake off. And that is this particular upper. So this is the PSA 18-inch Cold Hammer Forge mid-length 5.56 NATO. Keep in mind that has a 1 7 twist. You know, most of my 5.56 or 223s or wild chamber ARs that I own have a wild chamber, most likely. Especially like my Rock River Arms 20-inch varmint bull barrel that has a wild chamber, and I'm a big fan of this. And this has a 5.56 chamber, and this has a 1 7 twist. And most of my ARs have a 1 8 twist. So what does that mean? You know, a 1 7 twist is typically prefers a heavier bullet, something like a 68 grain or 75 grain. You know, something like this Hornady 75 grain match bolt tail hollow point bullet, or something like this 68 grain bolt tail hollow point. That means you can really push these out to maximum lengths. And I don't know that yet. We're going to eventually find that out here in this series. Part 1's mostly going to be general overview and initial shots. Part 2 and 3 is going to be reloads, doing reloading for this particular firearm once we get that fire form brass. And the continuation of that series will most likely be load development, to see how stupid accurate we can get this upper. And being that it has a cold hammer forged FN heavy barrel, I'm anticipating some stellar results. So I'm really looking forward to this series. You know, let me bring up the chat boards here, make sure I'm not missing anybody. It looks like Jeff Calvert's just rolling in to the chat board here. Alaska One Andy's rolling in saying hey there. And like I said, if you're out there watching, jump in the chat boards and say hi. So, and like I said, if you're just joining us, we are going to do some borescoping of not only this new PSA FN barrel, Cole Hammers Forge 5.56 barrel, but we're going to borescope my PSA 6.5 Grendel that I just rigorously cleaned. I mean, I don't think I've cleaned that bore, other maybe a bore snake down that tube, maybe a couple times, and I think it's been easily, I don't know, 250, 300 rounds down that tube. And these are literally some of the very last shots that I've taken out of that firearm, and I just rigorously cleaned it so you guys could check out that bore after about 400 rounds down the tube. And I did a thorough cleaning on that. So yeah, let me see who's all jumping in here. We got about 11 people watching. So if you're out there watching, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, like, and share. And I'm going to wait a little bit longer here for some more people to jump in, and we are going to check out the bores of these PSA barrels. And I can't show you what's over here because that doesn't meet YouTube's regulations, but it might be something like this. So, in the upper one here, the stainless steel barrel is a 6.5 Grendel, and the lower one here, the top one has a 20-inch barrel, by the way, the 6.5 Grendel, and the lower one here, which I just received, that's the next firearm review series if you're just joining us, that is the PSA 5.56 18-inch with a FN cold hammer forge barrel. It's heavy, and what I really like about this barrel is it's heavy from the chamber to the gas block. It's a nice heavy barrel, and I like that. I got pretty much the same barrel set up on my Rock River ATH. That thing is an absolute tack driver. And that should really improve the accuracy of this upper. And it's a very heavy barrel up to that gas block, and then you got more of a medium contour from there on up to the muzzle. You know, that 6.5 Grendel has more of an A2 style barrel, and actually I have the specs here. So the PSA 18-inch cold hammer forge mid-length 5.56 has a 1-7 twist, 15-inch hand guard, and that is a barrel profile. It's heavy. And let me get you up close and personal here so you guys can see a little bit better. Like I said, if you guys are just joining us, we're gonna do some bore scoping of a couple PSA uppers. And let me know how the sound and video looks. If you guys are watching, jump on the chat boards and let me know how that sound and video is. So this is what I literally just got in. No joke, no more than an hour ago, got this. So I got the PSA 18-inch cold hammer forge FM barrel upper 5.56. AR Guns and Gears just rolling in the house. Hello all. How you doing, my friend? And that is my next firearm review series. It's be very extensive, very similar to my 6.5 Grendel upper. And that particular barrel is an 18-inch heavy profile. It's a hammer forge chrome moly palladium machine gun steel, 5.56 NATO with a 1-7 twist. And I really like the fact that it's that heavy profile like I was mentioning. And you know, I can't say the price, but you know, I think when I picked this up after work, I think it was roughly about 4:30 p.m. when I picked this up after work. So yeah, I can't tell you the price there, but when I picked it up after work, I think it was about 4:30 p.m. So, and then in regards to the PSA 20-inch, which I'm pretty much done with that series now, and I could show that to you. It's a very extensive series. I'm talking 6 total parts. First part, initial review of it, shooting very inexpensive Wolf ammunition you usually get for about $6 per 20 round box. Shots of factory Hornady that you can get for roughly $22 after tax. And we took that brass and we reloaded it in part 2 and 3, shot it in part 4, did more load development part 5. And we're up to, we did some more shooting in part 6 here regards to getting the offset iron sights sighted in, some very inexpensive Wolf ammunition. And in part 7, we're going to continue that load development. It's pretty much the end of this load development, and that's what these reloads are for. It's for this particular firearm. And yeah, and that's pretty much going to be the end of this series. I might pick it up down the road, but that's pretty much the extent of where this series is going. And like I said, if you guys could let me know how the video and sound is, that'd be great. And Hidden Steel CA, just rolling into the house saying party. And so yeah, I'm really, really happy with this 6.5 PSA 20-inch Grendel. And like I said, I can't say the price on this, but I think when I picked it up after work, it was about 4 o'clock p.m. So it was about 4 p.m. You get my drift. So, you know, and this barrel is a 20-inch barrel, A2 style. It's not a heavy style barrel. And it's nice about that, if you're going for more of a hybrid situation, something more for hunting and target shooting, the A2 style really brings that weight down. And it's a 4/16 R stainless steel barrel. And you know, at first I kind of wished it was a heavy barrel, but I'm telling you, these groups, after doing load development, I mean, I'm getting these down to ½ minute of angle. This one here is a little bit of a flyer, and without this flyer, easily would have been 3/8. Even with the flyer, it's still 3/4. And I'm consistently getting groups out of this 6.5 Grendel 20-inch upper. I'm getting groups 7 away very consistently. Matter of fact, I did a 6x5 target, 6 total 5-shot groups that, I think I have it here. Yep. So I have this too. I did a 6x5, 6 total 5-shot groups, and this entire target average sub MOA. And it takes some serious load development to make that happen, and I'm really, really happy with it so far. But like I said, when I picked this up after work, I think it was about 4 p.m. So you guys get my drift. So yeah, that's the upper in this series right here. And like I said, I'm pretty much done with that, other than the final and 7th part where we're going to shoot these reloads. And that's very well, it would have been today, but it was raining. So it's probably going to be tomorrow, I'm guessing. And if you're reloading and you're curious of what this particular load is, it's a 123 grain ELD bolt tail ballistic tip match bullet, and we're dropping 27.7 grains of Varget. And we're seating that bullet at pretty much recommended Cole cartridge overall length. I think recommended was 2.245. So we're 2/1000 of an inch over recommended Cole. So pretty much right at maximum magazine length. And we're using CCI 400 primers. And we are doing a 3/1000 of an inch bump on the headspace from fire formed. And yeah, so far so good. So let's see who's jumping in the chats here. And Hittens here. So Adam's saying both video and sounds great, much better than the weather today. Glad it wasn't 4:99 o'clock. No, I'm pretty sure when I picked that 6.5 20-inch upper up after work, I'm pretty sure it was 4 p.m. So, and then when I picked up this one right after work, when I picked that up, I'm pretty sure it was 4:30 p.m. and they're getting really good reviews on that. And even on that 6.5 Grendel, they're getting pretty spectacular reviews. And I don't BS with my video reviews. I show you how it is. I'm very extensive, and I think any of you guys that watch my video reviews, you know I don't BS. And I want to be straight up honest and clear with you guys. Both of these were sent to me from PSA for T&E purposes, and I'd like to be totally clear on that. I know some of you guys, you say, hey, well, those could easily been cherry picked. And I'm about to show you here in a little bit on this 18-inch 5.56 FM barrel with a cold hammer forged barrel, heavy profile. I literally just got this, no joke, about an hour and a half ago, I'm guessing. And I have yet to touch it other than take it out of the box, and I ran a bore snake down it with some G96 once. And that is literally all I did, just to get any specks or lint out of that bore. Otherwise, that's it. I've yet to shoot this, and I have yet to inspect this other than shove the end of the bore snake down the muzzle about an inch, and it's right there. And I'm about to show you that here in a little bit. And I'm just curious to see who else is jumping in here. So we are up to about 17 people, and I'm going to show you the bores on both of these. The PSA 6.5 Grendel, 20-inch stainless steel barrel that I'm guessing I have about 400 rounds down that tube. And definitely, I'm going to be straight up honest with you, the initial groups out of that upper weren't stellar. I wouldn't say they were bad. I would say they were averaging about 1.5 minutes of angle. But I could definitely tell the more I shot it, and that pretty much goes for any mass-produced firearm in my opinion, you really need to give that firearm a good solid 100 to 200 rounds down the tube before you do any load development. And you really just need to feel out that particular upper or firearm in regards to its rifle's bore. Every rifle bore is like a fingerprint. They're completely different. And sometimes they print amazing right out of the gate, and sometimes they don't. And I've had some that were very stubborn, and some that fouled out right away. And after about 50, 60 rounds, they would fall out and have to clean them, and then the group shrunk down. That's a bad thing. You don't want that. And I noticed, at least with this PSA, with the 20-inch stainless barrel, it took about 100 to 200 rounds for those groups to really settle down. And then I cleaned it, and the groups opened back up because I cleaned it. I removed all that fouling of the carbon and copper fouling. And once it fouled that back out again after about 20 rounds, those groups shrunk right back down again. And then after that, after another 50 rounds, and then the groups really started to improve at about 1 minute of angle. And then when I kicked in my load developments, which I've proven with this series, easily sub them away. And some of those groups are 3/4, half minute of angle. And it's pretty impressive for an upper that I picked up after work at roughly 4 p.m. So anyway, so that's why I'm super, super excited about this next PSA firearm review series with the 18-inch cold hammer forged barrel that's from FN. And I'm about to show that to you guys here in a little bit. I'm not pulling your leg, I'm just waiting for more people to log in. So let me read some of your comments here. So hitting steel CA, there's always that one fire that screws up everything, and man, isn't that the truth? That is definitely the truth every single time. So yeah, this is the next firearm review series, and I plan on doing some extensive load development for this. And what I'm very excited about is the fact that it has a 1-in-7 twist. And like I mentioned earlier at the start of this live event, most of my AR barrels have a 1-in-8 twist. I typically prefer somewhere around the 55 grain, maybe up to 68 grain. They can shoot 75 grain, but I have found, at least in mine, that 60 grain VMAX just destroys everything else. And if you're not familiar with what barrel twist is, in this example, this has a 1 in 7 twist. Let me get you a little bit closer here. Make sure you guys can see this okay. Let me make sure, check, see how this looks here. Okay, so a 1 in 7 twist, what that means, if you're not familiar with twist rates, what that means, for every 7 inches, that bullet is going to make 1 full revolution. Just imagine this being the bullet here. So that bullet in 7 inches will make 1 full revolution. If it's a 1 in 8, that bullet will make 1 full revolution in 8 inches. If it's a 1 in 9, it's going to make 1 full revolution in 9 inches. If it's a 1 in 10, it's going to make 1 full revolution in 10 inches, and that's how it works. Oddly enough, if the twist rate is low, something like a 1 in 7, that actually means it's a faster twist rate. And why is that? Because that bullet is making 1 full revolution in only 7 inches. It's spinning a lot faster in a shorter amount of barrel. If it's a 1 in 10, it's only twisting 1 full revolution in 10 inches of barrel, and that actually means it's a slower twist rate. Well, more times than not, and every firearm is different, every cartridge is different, but at least in 5.56 or 223, or whether we've got a wild chamber, I guess it doesn't really matter. Typically, not all the time, when you get an AR, it's going to be a 1 in 8 twist, more times than not. But you will get some that have a 1 in 7 twist like this, and that's why I'm excited about this, because usually they prefer a heavier bullet. The faster the twist, more times than not, it prefers a heavier bullet. Something in this regards with 5.56, something like a 68 grain bolt tail hollow point. Let me make sure you guys are zoomed in on this. So I plan on loading up at the high end some 75 grain bolt tail hollow point. And that's about the maximum that you can shoot out of a semi-automatic. I also plan on loading up 68 grain bolt tail hollow points. And then I plan on even going down to the 60 grain VMAX, which is my favorite, at least out of my 1 in 8 twists. 1 in 8 twist. So if you guys can make this out. And that is actually a flat base bullet. So it has a flat base on it. It's not actually not a boat tail. And it has a ballistic tip on it. And this is my pet load. I love shooting these particular bullets, and I actually plan on going clear down to 55 grain. It's the exact same bullet, it's just 5 grains less. So let me check out some of your comments here, see who's jumping in. And then we're going to check out some of these bores here. All right, so IROC SS85, how much to reload Grendel brass per round? And I kind of actually touched base with this in the very last live episode. If you check out, let's see here, let me just check this out here. I actually did a complete live series, an 8-part extensive live series. And if you guys missed that, definitely check that out, or you're really going to miss out. And it was a very extensive, start to finish, live, where guys are asking questions that were new. So if you are new, that might help you out tremendously. But an 8-part series where we decapped, got it in the wash, took it out of the wash, put it in the cyclone case dryer, lubed it, sized it, put it back in the wash. Oh, we nailed it there too. Resized it, went over bumping headspace using a bump gauge and not case gauges. Got it back into the wash to get the lube off the brass. We dropped the powder and seated the bullets. And if you guys are new into the reloading world, this would help you out tremendously, especially if you're doing 6.5 Grendel. But it really doesn't matter what the cartridge is. this is the same regardless if it's 6.5 or 223 or 6.5 Creedmoor. It's the same situation, and it's just a different cartridge. But in that very last episode, we actually touched base with how much it costs, and I believe we figured it was $9 for 20 rounds, so 45 cents per round, and that's figuring 5 rounds on 5 fires on the brass. Obviously, the more amount of fires you have on the brass, the more that price is going to drop. But with an average about 5 fires on that brass, roughly about 45 cents. Rule of thumb is in regards to how much your precision reloads are going to be in comparison to precision factory ammunition, it's about half, maybe a little bit less than half, but if that gives you a general idea of how much those reloads are. And that means you just get to shoot twice as much. So Bad Billy's saying video and sound are good, except when you show the computer screen, it's dark color. So that's good to know. I'll try and clear that up. What else we got here? So I think that is it. So let's check out the bores on some of these PSA uppers here. Now the first one I'm going to check out is the PSA 20-inch, the 6.5 Grendel, and that is a stainless steel, 20-inch A2 style barrel. It's a 416R steel, stainless steel. It's got a 1 1/8 twist. And like I said, I got about 400 rounds down this tube, and I've just vigorously cleaned it. I mean, I got this right down to the bare stainless steel, and there shouldn't be any copper or carbon fouling in that, but we'll see here in a little bit. So let me bring that up. I'm going to bring up your chat boards. Now here is the Testlong BORESCOPE, and I am affiliate of Amazon, and in the description box below there is one of my affiliate links for my Amazon store. And this is, I think I have a picture of this. Let me just double check. I think I do. Maybe not. Maybe I don't. Thought I did. Anyways, check out that link in the description box below. I thought I had a picture of it, but I highly recommend that Testlong BORESCOPE. You know, for $49.99 shipped, it's amazing clarity. And this is kind of a bad live situation, so I can't show you the utmost clarity with a 1080p HD picture. I believe this is 720 and it's live stream, so it's probably not the best in the world, but it at least gives you an idea even live. And let me try and get you as close as possible here so you guys can check this out. So how does that look, my friends? Is that pretty decent? I wonder if I drop these lights down, if you could see this better. You try turning these lights off. How's that? Is that better? How's that? Let me know in the chat box if all that is. And I got to turn some lights on here. I got to see what the hell I'm doing. So how does that look, my friends? Is that pretty clear for you guys? Let me know in the chat box. I'm going to refresh this, make sure that this chat box is updated. All right, so let's start out with, now, first and foremost, if you're going to get a BORESCOPE, you better make sure that your BORESCOPE has a side-facing mirror. If your BORESCOPE looks just down the bore, in my opinion, it's absolutely worthless. And what's nice about this BORESCOPE is it's flexible. I'm not worried about it damaging the rifle's bore. So you can kind of see here, it's flexible. And not only is it 40 inches long, so it's gonna take care of most situations. Matter of fact, I'll show you this when I get the lights back on. But it's flexible. I'm not totally concerned about damaging my rifle's bore. And not only that, but it has an adjustable light on it. I can actually adjust the light on this. I can brighten it, I can lower it down, I can turn it off, and I can brighten it all the way up if I want. And it has that side-facing mirror, and that side-facing mirror is the key. If your borescope doesn't have a side-facing mirror so you can inspect your rifle's bore to the side, and if it doesn't have that, it's worthless in my opinion. And that's where this thing really shines. And especially for only $49.99, we'll just say $50 shipped. It is an amazing product. And I don't say that unless I really mean it. And I'm just gonna be crystal clear with you, I'm an Amazon affiliate. So if you do click on that, I do get a little bit of an Amazon kickback, only maybe about $1 or $2, I'm guessing. But it definitely does help my channel out. So I just want to be crystal clear to you guys, but I wouldn't tell you this is an amazing product unless it was an amazing product. And I'm going to show you here how amazing this thing works. And so we're going to check out the 6.5 Grendel here first. And this is the 20-inch stainless steel. And I'm actually entering right now, this is the APA Gen 2 little bastard brake, and you can actually see the baffles. I'm going past the baffles right now. That's actually the baffle tooth, and we're getting close to the muzzle here, so you can see the muzzle. So here's the crown, and you can see how clear this is even with a live feed, and this is only 720p. You can even record with this. If you notice at the very bottom of the screen, the software that this comes with, you can actually record video, you can take a shot, and it works really slick. And like I said, if your borescope doesn't have a side-facing mirror, it's absolutely worthless. And I rigorously just cleaned this bore. So this is the crown. The crown looks spectacular. It looks really, really good. I don't see any imperfections or nicks in that crown at all. Like I said, I just cleaned this bore. And we can actually check out the gas port on this. So what I can do is I can take this borescope out, gauge it, I can bring it down to the outside of the barrel, put my finger on the borescope, and then reinsert it to get an idea of where that gas port is. So let me try and get this back in here. Let's see if we can find that gas port. So it should be around here. I gauged it from the outside and I just kind of clamped it with my fingers. So it should be around here somewhere. So let's see if I can find that gas port. And I can spin this around a little bit with my fingers. And it should be around here somewhere. There it is. So this is the gas port on the 6.5 20-inch PSA Grendel upper. You can see that gas port's kind of clipping that rifling a little bit. So, and I can actually follow this individual rifling. I can twist this and pull it out, and I can follow that rifling right to the muzzle. So we're getting close to the muzzle. I can twist this so that there is the crown of that particular rifling, and I'm going to follow that rifling right to the chamber, and we're going to go past that gas port again. It should be coming up here soon. So this is 720p on a live feed, and I have a video on this in my video playlist that is in 1080p, and it really shows you how clear this thing is. I mean, it is ultra clear. And there's that gas port again. So I followed that individual rifling from the muzzle to the gas port. Now we're going to follow that individual rifling to the chamber. So you can see I did a pretty decent job of cleaning this bore. And you can see that this individual rifling is smoothened out quite a bit, because I'm about 400 rounds on this particular upper. You see I got a little bit of copper. Got a little bit of copper fouling in there, and that's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's good to have some copper fouling if it actually fills in those imperfections. But I rigorously cleaned this bore, and we are getting close to the chamber, and You can see I've done a pretty good job of cleaning this bore. I use foaming bore cleaner, and I actually used a rod and some solvents on this to really scrape this bore down to bare metal. Not scrape it, but clean it, I should say. You can see the next one over has got a little copper fouling on it. So let's go back on this other rifling. We're getting really close to the lands of the chamber. So we're still following this individual rifling from the muzzle. We went past that gas port, and we're getting really close. Gosh, this is a 20-inch barrel. And there's the lands. So here's the lands. That's called the lands of the rifling. So that's right in front of the chamber. And that's where the ogive, or the secant radius of your bullet, comes in contact with the rifling's lands. And that's where your jumps come into play. So you can play around with your bullet jumps. And that's where your bullet jumps really come into play, and that's where the secant radius of the bullet comes in contact with the rifling's lands. And then here is the end of the chamber. Here's the neck of you see I got a little carbon there, so I could probably clean that up a little bit better. And then here is the neck of the chamber. Here is the headspace of the datum line of the chamber, and then the body of the chamber itself, and then we are at the beginning of the barrel right there. And I'm going to actually go past and show you the lugs. So here are the lugs. I can spin this around. Here are the lugs, so we can inspect those, make sure that here's the ramps, the feed ramps, and then we can inspect that chamber again. And that's how clear this thing is. And this is a live feed at 720p. If I was to record this in 1080p, like I said, I actually have a video of this on my channel in the video playlist area. So you can see I got a little bit more cleaning to do if I really wanted to, you know, scrub this bore down to bare metal. But I think for now this is probably sufficient enough. And like I'm actually controlling the rifle, the flexible borescope, by twisting it a little bit with my fingers. And I can follow this individual rifling to the muzzle. And if I want, I can move on to the next rifling, the next rifling, and the next rifling. And I can follow that one up to the muzzle. So I have an insane amount of control with this Tesla borescope. And it is awesome. And for $49.99, and like I said, I have an affiliate link, my Amazon affiliate link. It does help my channel out. If you click on that, I get a little bit of kickback on that, and it definitely helps my channel. So I just want to be clear with you on that. That is an affiliate link, but it definitely helps my channel produce this content for you guys. So let's check out this crown again. So we're still checking out the 6.5 Grendel PSA 20-inch upper, and that crown looks spectacular. And like I said, if your borescope doesn't have a side-facing mirror like this, it is absolutely worthless. And what's nice about this is there's a coupler on this. There's a coupler on this, and you can screw this side-facing mirror out and in, and that's how you focus it. So if you have a larger caliber, a larger bore, something like a 30-06, you can screw this out and push this against the coupler, and you focus it that way. If you got something more like a 223, you can screw this in and you can push this coupler against that, and that's how you focus it. So you got to make sure you focus this borescope before you use it. So so let's check out the so that was the 6.5. Let me just double check something here for you guys. Don't want to do that. So that was a 6.5 Grendel. That was this one here. And now let's check out the new upper that I just received today. This is the 18-inch 5.56 upper with a cold hammer forge FN barrel. And let me just quick show you that to you again. So that's this one right here. Like I said, I think I picked this one up after work right around 4 p.m. So, and this is an 18-inch. Now keep in mind, this is not stainless steel. This is hammer forged chrome molybdenum machine gun steel. So it's not going to be nice and stainless steel shiny like that other one, but at least I'm going to give you an idea. And like I said, I literally just received this. I have never fired it. All I did is run a bore snake down it with a little bit of G96 down the bore, and that was it. And here is the crown. I took the birdcage A2 brake off, and here's the crown of it. And I like the crown. I inspected the crown, and the crown looks really, really good. It's got a nice contour on it, and you can actually see it's a recessed crown. So the crown's recessed a little bit from the very end of the bore. It looks like someone did test fire this. It looks like I see some blast marks on it. So I'm sure they test fire these somewhat at PSA, I would think. I'm not positive on that. But other than running a bore snake down this once, that's all I did. Now, I can't prove that they cherry picked it, but I know everyone says that in regards to firearm reviews, they probably cherry picked it. I don't know that. But then again, I'm sure they cherry pick everyone's firearms. I don't know. I'm not sure. But to be crystal clear with you guys, this was sent to me from PSA for T&E purposes. So keep that in mind. But yeah, that is this one right here. So let's check out the bore on that. And let me check out your comments here before I do that. So make sure I'm... Cam 43 gonna order that BORESCOPE. Adam saying, wow, that is really, really clear. Man, is it ever. It is really, really impressive. So I'm gonna insert this down the FN Coal Hammer Forge 18-inch barrel. So here's the crown. So you can see that the crown starts there. And I'm gonna spin this around a little bit, and man, that crown looks really good. What I'm looking for is any damage at the end of the crown rifling, and it looks really good. Man, it looks actually spectacular. You can see there's a little bit of recess there at the end of the muzzle, and that crown looks really good. Matter of fact, this bore looks really clean, so I don't know if anyone actually fired this. Like I said, all I did is run a bore snake down at once with some G96 oil, just to make sure there's no lint or specks of whatever down that bore for this BORESCOPE live event. But I tell you, here's one rifling, here's another one, here's another one, and every single one looks spectacular, very clear. And that bore looks really clean, actually. It looks like, I'm starting to think no one has even fired this, maybe? I don't know, it's hard to say. So I'm right now about 2 inches. So I do see, I don't know if that's rust or copper, so I'm not sure there. But I'm sure a lot of this is going to get cleaned up once I fire it a little bit. I see some of this rifling is a little bit aggressive, so that's where shooting this rifle about 100 or 200 rounds is probably going to have to come into play to smoothen out some of this rifling. But it looks pretty good. So this is about 2 inches down from the crown. So let me try and hunt down the gas port for this 18-inch FN barrel. So I'm going to take this out. I'm going to gauge it by putting the BORESCOPE on the outside of the barrel. I'm going to pinch the BORESCOPE with my fingers and then reinsert this to get an idea of where that gas port's going to be. So it should be right around here. So let's try and hunt that down. So it should be around here somewhere. So I'm just kind of going back and forth. There it is. So that is the gas port. And something I like to keep an eye on when I'm doing these BORESCOPEs is how much it's different on every single barrel. And hopefully that gas port doesn't cut too hard into a particular rifling, and this one definitely has. You can see there's not much rifling left on this particular individual rifling, and you just never know if that's going to affect accuracy or not until you shoot it. And when they drill that gas port, they don't know if they're hitting the rifling or not, and they're going to hit some rifling no matter what they do. And usually when I'm looking at this, I'm hoping it doesn't have hit the rifling too hard. It looks like this one definitely has. But you just never know if it's going to affect accuracy or not. Usually it doesn't. It usually doesn't. But you just don't know until you fire it. So this is one rifling. You can see the gas ports kind of clip that damn near all the way through. This is the next rifling. You can see there's a little bit of that's either copper or that could be some rust. This is a new barrel. And the next rifling. So you can actually let's follow this individual rifling to the chamber. So let's follow this one down. So I'm going to spin this flexible borescope ever so slightly to the chamber. It looks pretty good so far. Now keep in mind, this has not been fired. Like I mentioned, I just took this right out of the box. And this rifling will definitely smoothen out after about 100, 200 rounds, especially once I can shoot it 100 and 200 rounds and then clean it. And I'm ever so slightly spinning this flexible borescope. And a lot of this will get cleaned up. Let me start back over here. So I'm going to go back to where that gas tube was. I'm going to just follow this one to the chamber. Sorry. At least you know it's live. So I'm going to ever so slightly spin this individual rifling to the chamber. And that looks pretty darn good. Man, this barrel looks like it hasn't even been shot. I mean, it looks pretty damn clean. So if you guys are out there, jump in the chat board, say hello, make yourself known. And here's the lands of that individual rifling. So I'm sure they did some test firing, I would think, but maybe they didn't. I don't know, but this looks pretty damn clean. And like I said, I only ran a bore snake down this once with some G96, and I wouldn't think it would clean it that much. And so I got a feeling this really hasn't been fired much. Now you can see the lands on this individual rifling is a little bit longer than this one, just by a smidge. You can see it right there. This one's a little bit longer than this individual rifling. And then here is the end of the chamber. It looks like there's a hair right there. That's actually a hair. That's how clear this is. You can actually see there's an individual hair in there. That must be off my bore snake. So this is the neck of the chamber. Now we're coming up to the shoulder, or the datum line, the headspace of the chamber, and then the actual body of the chamber. And then we are at the start of the barrel right here. And here are the lugs. And man, do those lugs ever need to be cleaned up. They are full of oil. Some type of oil, and I definitely need to clean those up. Like I said, I have yet to touch this other than run a bore snake down this once. And here are the lugs. You can actually find the ramps here. So that must be the ramps there, I think. That's how clear this is. It's really impressive, and I'm starting to think this barrel hasn't even been shot. So if they haven't shot this, it definitely hasn't been cherry picked. But yeah, I got a feeling we just won't know until I can get some rounds down this tube how well it shoots and prints. But there is a chance that it might take about 100 rounds for those groups to settle down until I can even consider doing load development. Looks like there's either that's copper fouling. I don't think that's carbon fouling. It looks more like copper. So maybe someone did put some test rounds on this. I could actually double check with Chad if they do test fire these, the CEO of PSA. But yeah, this looks really good. The rifling doesn't show any major defects. That looks really, really good. So let's go back up to the crown. Getting close to the crown here. And that's the crown. And I can spin this around and inspect that crown. with great detail. Let me back you guys up here and turn the lights back on. Like I said, if you're out there watching, make yourself known in the chat boards. And that's where I'm at. I would have went out to the range today and shot these reloads for the final part of the PSA 6.5 Grendel, but it was raining today, so I figured I'd do this instead. Especially being that I literally just got this upper, like I said, roughly about 2 hours ago. And that is my next firearm review series. Now, this particular upper comes with no bolt carry group or charging handle. And like I said, when I picked this up after work, I think it was about 4:30 p.m. And it has no bolt carry group or charging handle, so keep that in mind. But if you guys have watched my videos in the past, I'm gonna make sure you guys can see this okay. Get you a little bit closer. If you guys have watched my series in the past, I have, somewhere around here, the PSA 5.56 10.5-inch AR pistol series, and that is extensive. Not only does that go through overview and general inspection when I first got that 10.5-inch 5.56 AR pistol, but it goes through load development, and in part 6 here, I went and picked up a new bolt, and that was the PSA Premium 5.56 nickel boron bolt. It's the Carpenter 158 bolt that has no logo on it. And it's awesome, and it's a great upgrade. And the reason why I like this bolt is it's super easy to clean. I mean, in comparison to the regular bolt that came with it, which was a pain in the rear end to clean, this upgraded bolt, which I think it was less than 1 p.m. when I picked it up after work. It's awesome, and it's really easy to clean. Not only is it easy to clean, but it just looks great, and it functions awesome, and I've never had a jam with it. And so what I'm going to do is take this bolt out of that 10.5-inch AR pistol, and I am going to use that bolt and its charging handle with this upper, the 18-inch 5.56 upper with the FN barrel. And you can see here, like I said, it says no bolt carrier group or charging handle, and I'm literally just gonna pop that bolt and charging handle out and slap it in that. And I am gonna use that in conjunction with the lower of my Grendel. You gotta keep in mind that Grendel uses an AR-15 lower. And I'm literally gonna pop that lower off that Grendel, and I'm gonna put it on this upper. And what's so awesome about that is I don't need to buy an entire firearm. I just need to buy the upper. Literally take the bolt and charging handle out of my 10.5-inch AR pistol, pop that in the upper, take the lower off the Grendel, slap it on this, call it a day. And like I said, this upper, when I picked it up from work, it was pretty late, but it was, what, 4:30 p.m.? So I think you guys get my drift. So I hope this helps you guys out. And I'm really looking forward to this firearm review series. Like I said, I want to be crystal clear with you guys. Both of these uppers were sent to me from PSA for T&E purposes. So I want to be crystal clear with you guys. I like to be honest with everything I do. And like I said, check out the description box below. I have one of my Amazon affiliate links for this test long BORESCOPE. And like I said, it's $49.99 shipped. And it's got insane ratings as it should, because it is an awesome product. I don't push a product unless I believe in the product. And it's got a 40-inch flexible. 40-inch will work for any firearm that you got. If you got anything over 40 inches, I'd like to see that firearm. That must be an amazing firearm. It must be more like a cannon. But this is also flexible, and it's not rigid. It's not, you're not going to worry about damaging your rifle's bore because it is flexible. And for that price, and you guys just witnessed it live in 720p, it's not even 1080p, how clear that borescope is, and it works amazing. So, man, you guys are pretty quiet today. So otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. If you guys got any comments or questions, let them rip. I'll try my best to answer them. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up here soon. And like I said, starting tomorrow, I should have these reloads shot for the 6.5 PSA Grendel, and that should pretty much be the conclusion of that firearm review series. And that's going to be awesome. And then we are going to start an entire firearm review series with an entire different reloading session with that. And like I said, with that 1 in 7 twist, if you guys are just joining us, the 18-inch upper has not a 1 in 8 twist, but a 1 in 7 twist. And I get a feeling, I don't know this for sure, and I won't know until I shoot these pills down the rifle's bore, but a 1 in 7 twist, it should most likely favor the heavier bullets. Something like this 75 grain bolt tail hollow point and a 68 grain bolt tail hollow point. But like I said, I'm not going to know until I do that low development. And we're going to go all the way down to 55 grain, 60 grain VMAX, 55 grain VMAX, and I'm even going to do, just for you guys, I probably wouldn't do this if it was for myself, some fodder bullets, some 55 grain full metal jacket with a canalure. And you guys can make this out. Let me get you a little bit closer, better in the light here. Maybe you can see this better. If you guys got any questions, let them rip. So at the very low end of the bullets, I'm going to have a 55 grain full metal jacket. This actually has a little bit of a boat tail on it. If you look close enough, you can actually see it's got a little bit of a boat tail on it. And it also has a canalure. That's what this canalure is. If you want to do a heavy crimp, something like a military round, you can do a heavy crimp right on that canalure. I usually don't crimp my rounds, but that'll be on the low end. And then from there on up, we're going to jump up to the 55 grain, the same bullet weight, but the VMAX. So let me focus in here. So the VMAX, that's actually a flat base bullet with a ballistic tip. And the 60 grain VMAX, which is the exact same bullet, but 5 grains heavier. It's a little bit longer. So you can see that here, flat base bullet, a little bit longer, ballistic tip. And let me try and get some of these out here. So the 68 grain boat tail hollow point. Now this is a match bullet. So this is 68 grains. Actually, this is a pulled bullet. You can see I pulled this. It's got a mark on it. Let's see if I can find one that's not pulled. I think maybe I pulled all of these. I must have had a bad batch of reloads that I had to pull. Here's one. Ooh. Whatever. So here's a 68 grain bolt tail hollow point. So it's got a little bit of a bolt tail on the back. And they drill out the tip of it. That's a hollow point. That is a match grade bullet. The reason why they do a hollow point is it reduces the weight in the front, gives it a better bullet coefficient. And then the 75 grain. Now this is about the maximum that you can load in a semi-automatic 223 or 5.56 wild chamber, whatever you want to call it. So you can see how extremely long this 75 grain is in comparison to something like that 55 grain fodder bullet, the full metal jacket. These are not going to be These are not going to be accurate at all, and they usually are not. They're a full metal jacket, no hollow tip. This actually has a boat tail on it, but you can see the length difference on this. Look at the difference between these two. That's how much deeper this bullet seats in that brass casing. I can actually pull out, I actually have one here. I got a 5.56 Lake City brass casing here. So this bullet might get seated about right there. You can see how far that bullet's going to go down in that casing in comparison to this 55 grain, which most of you guys are probably familiar with. When you buy really inexpensive 223 or 5.56 ammo, usually they do it right to the cantilever and they heavily crimp it. So you can see how little that bullet actually goes into the neck. It's literally stops at the beginning of the neck. And they usually do a heavy crimp on that for something like a military round. Like I said, I don't crimp my rounds, but you can see how much more that, if you're new to the game, how much more, if I can visualize this here for you guys, how much more that goes down into that casing. So, and if you're doing a very high-end powder drop, there's a good chance you're going to start compacting powder or compressing powder with that heavier bullet. Now, the reason why you might want to do something like this with a 75 grain heavier bullet, especially something like that 1-in-7 twist, is you want to shoot very long distances. The heavier the bullet, the longer you can shoot. The lighter the bullet, it's not going to go that far, and it's most likely going to start tumbling. Something like a 223 or 5.56. This fodder bullet, this full metal jacket, I've never tested this, but I'm guessing this bullet's probably going to start tumbling. I'm totally guessing on this. Probably about 800 yards. Accuracy is going to be absolutely atrocious after, really even at 100 yards, but especially after about 300-400 yards, the accuracy of this fodder, I like to call them fodder bullets because that's what they are. They're really no good other than military purposes. They're definitely not a match round, especially with that cantilever and no hollow point. It's just a full metal jacket. Accuracy is not going to be impressive with these, but I'm still going to run them just to see how they run. Like I said, something like that 1-in-7 twist is really going to prefer a heavier, longer bullet. And that's what I'm going to test. So we got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different rounds. And so what I'm probably going to do is pull 50 pieces of this Lake City brass. And this is once fired Lake City brass. Let me get you guys up close and personal. At least you know this is live. So I bought 1,000 pieces of Lake City brass. And I think I've used probably, I'm guessing I've probably used up to maybe 400 pieces out of here. You can see it's tremendously dirty. This has been supposedly once fired, from what I've been told when I bought this. And this was most likely fired out of a military grade firearm. I don't know what it's been fired on. Hell, this would be fired out of multiple different firearms with different head spaces. But I plan on cleaning this up and bumping this back close to Sammy spec, at least for the initial shots, the first initial reloads, because I don't know what the Fireform brass headspace is going to be until I fireform it. So on these first initial reloads, I'm going to be pretty conservative on the headspace. So I'm going to pull 50 pieces of this, and I plan on getting that on video here. I'm not sure when. But 50 pieces, 10 total rounds of each bullet. Why? So I can do 2 5-shot groups. 1 5-shot group to get an idea of the accuracy, and the second 5-shot group to confirm the first. So we're going to have 10 total rounds at 5.56 full metal jacket. 10 rounds of 55 grain full metal jacket with a cantilever, which I don't expect that to be accurate whatsoever. 10 rounds of 55 grain VMAX, 10 rounds of 60 grain VMAX, 10 rounds of 68 grain boat tail hollow points, and 10 rounds of 75 grain bow tail hollow points. Obviously 50 total rounds, 10 rounds apiece. And that's the way I'm going to at least attack this. And I got a feeling you're going to exponentially watch the accuracy improve the heavier the bullet we go, because like I said, this has a 1 in 7 twist. And if you're just joining us, that 1 in 7 twist means for every 7 inches of barrel, that bullet is going to rotate 1 full revolution. If I got a 1 in 8 twist, every 8 inches, the bullet's going to make 1 full revolution. If I got a 1 in 9, the bullet's going to make 1 revolution in 9 inches of barrel. If I got a 1 in 10, the bullet's going to make a full revolution in 10 inches. And this is, believe it or not, the smaller the number, the faster the twist rate. The faster the twist rate usually prefers heavier bullets. And that's why I think we're going to see the accuracy improve as we go through the spectrum of reloaded bullets here. So with that said, I think that's pretty much it, at least for this live event. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, checking out this Tesla BORESCOPE, checking out the bores of both of these uppers from PSA. And like I said, if you're interested in this BORESCOPE, I have one of my Amazon affiliate links, and I am an affiliate. So if you do click on that and do make that purchase, I do get a little bit of a kickback, but that definitely helps out my channel and supports my channel and my content. So I want to be crystal clear on that. And also, these PSA uppers were sent to me from PSA, so I want to be clear on that also. I did pay for the bolt, I did pay for that, but both uppers were sent to me for T&E purposes from PSA, so I just want to be totally honest and clear with you guys. And that is my next firearm review series. It is going to be massively extensive, and I hope you guys are prepared for it. And we're going to see how much accuracy we can squeeze out of this upper. Well, let me read some of your comments before we head out here. And if you guys are just joining us, I see Jer Bear Tacticals just jumping in, Hemi Scrubs just rolling in. Once this live session is done, you can go back and watch the video from the beginning. Last one, Andy's saying, thank you, have a great day. Jer Bear Tacticals saying, hi Todd, Hemi Scrub, And Hemi Scrub is saying, I have some of the Hornady 75 grain hollow point bolt tails and some of the 77 grain. I believe he says MK, but I'm sure he says, I believe he means SMK, Sierra Match Kings, loaded and waiting to test in my AR. And that is about the maximum that you can put in an AR. You can't get super heavy, super long bullets in an AR because the secant radius of that bullet starts to bypass the case mouth opening. You got to seat it to get it in so far for maximum magazine length. But in a typical semi-automatic, especially in AR, you're limited to maximum magazine length, and those very heavy bullets, you can't seat them too far. If the secant radius starts to bypass the case mouth opening, that is very bad, and that neck is going to split like that. It's not good. Adam is asking, do you reload for 300 Blackout? And I don't. I would like to have a 300 Blackout. I don't have any suppressors or NFA items. I probably should, but like I said before, if you guys watch my channel, I'm more of a weekend warrior on steroids. I just kind of know too much. I would definitely get a 300 Blackout if I had a suppressor. Being that I don't have a suppressor, I don't really feel the need to get a 300 Blackout, and I actually ended up getting a 7.62 by 39 PSA 10.5 inch upper. And the reason why is Wolf ammunition, steel case Wolf ammunition, and I can show you that to you right here. It is so ungodly cheap, and that is the reason why I don't have a 300 Blackout, because I don't have a can, and you can buy 1,000 rounds of full metal jacket. I think I got that shipped for 190 bucks. And just like my PSA AKP, and that likes to shoot the hollow points. I think I got about 2,000 rounds in here. You usually get this for, at least before this COVID BS went into play. You can get these for, I think, $195 shipped before the COVID BS went down. So That's why I don't have a 300 Blackout. If I had a can, I probably would. I just don't have a can. And I be honest with you, right now, I just don't feel the need. And it's all about everyone's different purposes. And that's why I shoot the 7.62 by 39. And I actually have a full, you know me, I got a video series on freaking everything. If you go to my playlist areas, have an insane amount of PSA firearm review series, damn near every single PSA firearm known to man. I got this PSA 6.5 Grendel with a 20-inch barrel. The PSA AKV, mind you, these are not just one videos. These are very extensive, in-depth video review series. I show you how it is. I don't sugarcoat it. You see how it's shot. I do accuracy testing. I do general overviews. So I'm not BSing you guys. You see it how it is. And I just like to be honest with you guys. But I have the, like I said, 6.5 Grendel, the PSA AKV. I have the SHOT Show coverage of the new firearms coming out for PSA, which would be the PSA 5. We have the PSA Jacko, the PSA Dagger. You have, what else? I mean, an insane amount of AKs coming out. You got the AKE, the AK-74, which shoots the 5.45 by 39, the AK-103, AK-GF4, the AK-556. You have the Spiker, and you have the Krinkov. And I might have missed one there. I don't know. They had so much coming out that you get lost in the woodworks, but it's exciting. You know, the PSA, they're really stepping up their game. But like I said, I also have their AR-47, which is a hybrid. AK-47 and AR combined together. And what really shines about that is, yes, it doesn't shoot 300 Blackout, but I can shoot that really inexpensive Wolf steel case ammunition. And it's a 10.5-inch AR pistol. And the AR pistols really shine because they have the Picatinny rail on it. They're much more accurate in comparison to say something like an AKP, which I have an extensive video series on the AKP. And I love the AKP because of its heritage. When you get an AK, it's more about the heritage of the firearm. You're not totally concerned about the accuracy because pretty much any AK in general is be roughly a 3 to 4 minute of angle firearm. And I get it for the heritage. I don't get it for really the accuracy. And that's where this PSA AR-47 7.62 by 39 really shines. The new Gen 2s that they have out that now use the AK mags, it's okay. I wish PSA actually carried the Gen 1s again. And the reason why is because they work with any AR pistol lower. And it has last round bolt hold, where the Gen 2 that uses the AK mags does not. So anyway, I have the 5.56 10.5-inch AR pistol, which that's where I ripped the bolt and the charging handle out for this 18-inch 5.56 FN barrel test review that we're about to do. And I think that is it. I don't know. Oh, I did have the PSA AK-47, but that was the old Gen 2, the GB2. And I actually ended up selling that. And the reason why I sold it is because I got the AKP. The AKP does damn near everything that the GB2 did, other than maybe lose some feet per second. I tell you, I shot that PSA AKP at 300 yards or less, and the groups at 100 yards were right on the heels of the regular AK-47, and that's why I sold it. I didn't feel the need to have both of them, and I'd rather have the AKP, man. Those AKPs are freaking awesome. I always say this, everyone should have at least an AKV and an AKP in their collection. If you don't, you're not doing it right. So, otherwise, I think that's it, my friends. Let me check out the chats here, make sure I'm not forgetting anyone here. Blow this up here, make sure I'm not forgetting anyone's comments or chats. Let's see here. Wow, you guys really rolled in with the comments. Man, we got 483 views. Man, that is awesome. Wow, I got a lot of questions to answer here. Everyone's just rolling in. let's see here. Oh, actually, I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Sorry. At least you know we're live. So I got to get the right video up here. Let's see here. Let me make sure I got everyone's comments and questions so I'm not forgetting anyone. So hitting steel, CA, I got the one flyer screwing up everything. Anything MOA or more gooder out of a gas gun is great. Yeah, that is definitely true, and I'm really impressed about this PSA 6.5 Grendel. My first Grendel, and I like it so much. I've been turning my friends onto it, and they're very excited about it too, especially with these accuracy results that I'm getting on it using my load development. And I can't wait to shoot these reloads. Adam's saying, looking forward to see how the 5.56 chamber does. And like I said, I can't wait either. I'm so pumped about getting this load development going. And I don't want to mention anything right now. I also got some other insanely awesome products rolling in. I don't want to drop the ball on that yet. But you'll see it here soon. It's coming. Let's just say it's a know your limits target on steroids. It's awesome, and you guys are gonna love this. I plan on taking it out 600 yards, and it is, like I said, I'll just leave it there. It's a know your limits target system on steroids, and it should be here soon. It is freaking awesome. You guys are really gonna love it. Jeff Calvert's ain't gonna get one with my Trump check, man. You better get in line because I think everyone else is doing the same damn thing. And PSA is so damn busy right now. They're literally pissing freedom. So, Adam's saying, pretty sure PSA's computer system will catch on fire while stimulating the economy. That is the best way to stimulate the economy. It's nothing but freedom from PSA, that's for sure. Adam's saying that while it's really clear, and that is, I can't explain to you guys in person how clear that is on this 1080p resolution 40-inch screen. So yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I missed anyone's comments. Jerry Bear Tactical saying cheap, cheap, cheap. So awesome. Well, keep an eye out for the next firearm review series coming up with the PSA 18-inch FN Cold Hammer Forge upper rolling here soon. And like I said, I got some other amazing products I'm sure you guys are going to be excited about. Do me a favor by scratching my back, and I'll continue to scratch your back with this content by not only subscribe, like, and share, hit that notification bell, but become a Patreon. It helps out more than you know, my friends. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side.